The more we are together, 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 the more we are together, the happier we shall be. For your school is my school, and my school is your school. The more we are together, the happier we shall be. Up, Naps.
Now, I would quite like to call on the judges for today's debate. Leading the judges is no other person than Mrs. Shola Kosoko. Okay, supporting her is Chief Anderson Arogo. Also, to support them is Mr. Yusuf Ibrahim. The timekeeper for today is Obado Mark. This is the primary category. That's what we'll start with first. Okay, primary category. For Lagos State, Oladipo Ayokumi. And also from Lagos State as well, Okwade Tulualashe. And the gorgeous. Okay. Representing Kwara State, primary category, we have Busari Taiwo. I like your cap. Don't worry, just relax, okay? All right. Representing Kwara State again for primary category is Adetunji Halima. Okay, the next is the president's speech. I am going to respectfully hand over the microphone to the president of NAPS National, Chief Yomi Otubela.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to 2021 Children's Day competition organized by the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools. I want to welcome warmly the Chairman, Board of Trustees, and members of Board of Trustees that are here in present, all state chairmen, all national executive officers, the Chairman, National Committee on Children's Day, and every other distinguished ladies and gentlemen, not forgetting our own President, Lagos State NAPS, and of course, President, Cooperative Society. Today, we shall be making history as we will be having the first ever competition between Nigerian children all over the country. Today, we have 4 states who had qualified for finals. We have from the Southwest and the North Central. The competition is between these 2 regions. We shall have 2 categories of the competitions. One is the secondary school students, and the second is the primary school pupils. So, as you can see, you have ever-ready debaters who are representing different primary schools. Lagos State is competing with Kwara State at the primary school category. And we have the secondary school category. Oyo State will be competing with Kogi State. We have a wonderful, impartial panel of judges. And we want to say without any reservation that we have no doubt in your level of accuracy.
Now, National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, NAPS, is the apex association of private schools owners in Nigeria. And it was founded in 2005 with the aim of promoting the welfare and interaction of proprietors of private schools and the advancement of quality educational service in Nigeria. Now, with a membership strength of over 50,000 registered members cutting across 774 local governments in the country. Before 2005, when NAPS was formed, there were different private schools associations all over the states of the Federation. But in 2005, then different private schools associations merged to become one body known as National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, NAPS.
Good morning. I welcome you all. I'm happy to be here. Students, are you happy to be here? I'm very happy because When they called them, when they were coming on stage, they were very happy. It means they are happy doing what they want to do. We are your friends. We are only going to be judging you. Who is the best judge? God Almighty. So we pray that God help us to judge rightly. Thank you very much. My name is Shola Kosoko Abino.
For the primary category, we'll be looking at the following in assessing our marks. We'll be looking at the salutation as the first area. That will be carrying 2 marks. Also, we'll be looking at your fluency, how eloquent you are, how well you are able to put up your words and sentences. That will carry 3 marks. Then we'll be looking at the appearance. How good looking are you? Your neatness and the likes. That will be carrying 2 marks. We'll also be looking at the confidence in you. How well prepared are you? How well will you be able to put yourself together? And that will be carrying 3 marks. And at the end of the day, we'll be looking at the salient points you are able to deduce from your presentation. And that will boils down to your content or delivery. And that will be taking 10 marks. So if you add all this together, you'll be having 20 marks for each of the participants. So which sum up to 40 for the first and second participant. Then in the course, after the 2 representatives presentation, there will be a rider, that is the round-off or closing remarks, by either of the 2, not necessarily the chief speaker or the second speaker, depends on your choice. And that will be carrying 10 marks. Here, we will not be looking at the salutation again, we will not be looking at your fluency, we will not be looking at your appearance, nor the confidence. We will only be looking at the content. Now, the slight difference from the primary section, the secondary will be having, instead of the rounding off session, we'll be having impromptu speech, which will take just 4 minutes. Impromptu speech, and that will take the 10 marks instead of the round off or closing remark by the primary section. Thank you, and I wish you all the best.
Now the topic is COVID-19 pandemic, a myth or a reality? And to kick off the debate, I call on Lagos State.
I know that all of you are surprised for me to wear this on stage by following the government's rules, but I am removing this to prove that there's no such thing as COVID-19 in the world. A Chinese adage says, and I quote, "What I hear, I forget. What I see, I don't forget." Of what use this claim that COVID-19 is a reality when our leaders on political seas make more money and enrich their treasury with what the world claims is killing? Or are people jumping about, throwing all kinds of parties, ranging from christening, housewarming, weddings, funerals, among others, and you all are seated here claiming that there's a virus out there killing? Please, let us all wake from this slumber. Oops. Good day to the President of the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, the Chairman of this august occasion, the panel of judges, my ever-accurate timekeeper, my fellow co-debaters, and my ever-attentive audience. I am Ayokomi Oladipo, a grade 4 pupil of the reputable Lagos group of schools. I am here to strongly propose a motion which states COVID-19 is a myth and not a reality. To begin with, let's take a critical look at the word coronavirus. It was related that there was a SARS outbreak in Asia in the year 2003. SARS, which stands for Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, was reported to only affect Asia in 2003. Yet, there was no pandemic in the world except in Asia. On the 11th of February 2020, the International Committee of Taxonomy of Viruses decided to adopt the name Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome, Coronavirus 2, for the so-called pandemic. Mr. Chairman, how come there was no pandemic during that year? Also, how many people are unaware of the funds raised by the government, by the international organizations to combat this so-called COVID-19, which never got to us? We're not going to churches and mosques. We're What is doing the so-called pandemic that the federal government announced that all Nigerians get their NIN done, understanding fully well how overcrowded it will be? If COVID-19 is real, why so people to queue at various registration centers? Furthermore, before now, we've had many ailments like malaria, fever, typhoid, and others, which are symptoms like loss of taste, diarrhea, sore throat, coughing, sneezing, among others. So, if anyone exhibits these symptoms and starts taken as a COVID-19 prospective patient, oh people, let's stop all this funny behavior. It's really driving me crazy. It's really driving me mad. Also, at the so-called COVID-19 centers, the drugs administered are the general drugs we take for the common ailments I mentioned earlier. Therefore, without trying to kill a mosquito with a machine gun, I hope I've been able to convince you that my clinical and statistical facts that COVID-19 is a myth and not a reality. Thank you.
Now, I call on Kwara State.
It's a great honor and dignity to be called upon to give a clear proof on the topic before me in this wonderful gathering, COVID-19 pandemic, a reality or a myth. Before I expatiate the topic, I won't shy away to extend my greetings to the great personalities on the high table, the amiable Mr. Chairman, impartial panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, my co-debaters, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and very attentive audience. I am a bona fide student of Socrates Modern Nursery and Primary School in Kwara State, by name, Busari Tawa Abdurazak. Before I proceed, before I hit the nail on the head, I won't hesitate to give the definition of COVID-19 for the purpose of clarity. What is COVID-19? According to the WHO, COVID-19 is a disease caused by a new strain of coronavirus. It can also be called SARS-CoV-2. The CO stands for corona, VI for virus, and the D for disease. It started in a place called Wuhan in China. Its source is unclear to medical experts. Some said it was from bats, and some said it was from mandolins, but can actually be contracted from many other animals, not only bats and mandolins, such as cats, dogs, cattle, and many other animals, even human beings, as we all know. COVID-19. It spread starting in the year 2019, but spread like a wildfire in the year 2020 to many continents, and it still keeps spreading to date. My first point goes thus. COVID-19 is real in the sense that it has killed millions of people globally, landing to hundreds of millions of people in a severe state of health due to its fast spreading. My impartial panel of judges, how can anyone tell me COVID-19 is a myth when people are dying, people are in bad shape, people are in hospitals? How can you not tell me that COVID-19 is a myth? Myth is an imaginary thing. Can an imaginary thing kill people? Can an imaginary thing put people in hospitals? Can an imaginary thing make people suffer? Then why can you tell me that COVID-19 is a myth and not a reality? When all this is happening in our community, why will you tell me that COVID-19 is a myth and not a reality? What if the dead had a chance to wake up and hear you say what killed them? What made them be no more? What made them be in the grave? What made them stay apart from the family is a myth and not a reality? How do you expect them to feel? Nevertheless, COVID-19 disease can be easily contracted in many ways, such as hugging, handshaking, staying less than 6 feet from each other. That's why we're giving rules. Use your face mask, use your face shield, wash your hands, sanitize your hands, stay more than 6 feet from each other, which is social distancing. Now, if you believe COVID-19 is a myth during the COVID-19 era, why were you using your face mask? Why were you using your face shield? Why were you sanitizing your hand if you believe COVID-19 is a myth? If you believe COVID-19 is not, then why are you doing all this? If you think the government are using this to embezzle money, what about the WHO, the World Health Organization? Would they be disturbing themselves looking for a cure on something that is not real? No, they can't be doing that. They are the World Health Organization. They have many global issues to deal with. Why would they not be disturbing themselves, looking for a cure on something that is not real? They can't do that when they have many global issues to deal with. To the extent our government were restricted from going to our schools, our places of learning. We're restricted from going to our mosques, our churches, our worship center. We're restricted from doing this. Would the government be wasting their time on something that is a myth? Would they be disturbing themselves on an imaginary thing? No, they can't do that. Then why are you telling me COVID-19 is a myth and not a reality? Why are you telling me COVID-19 is an imaginary thing? Nonetheless, COVID-19 symptoms are very camouflaging, making people to think it's a myth. Some of the symptoms are coughing, catarrh, blockage of nostrils. That's why when people see the symptoms in them, they think they have like the normal cough, not knowing they may have COVID-19. What I'm saying here is not everyone with these symptoms that have COVID-19, but they may do. But that's why we're also giving rules to use our face mask so to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Now is the time for global solidarity and support, especially with the most vulnerable in our societies, particularly in the emerging and developing world. Only together can we overcome the intertwined health and social and economic impact of the pandemic and prevent its escalation into a protracted humanitarian and food security catastrophe with the potential loss of already achieved development gains. I hope with this report of mine, I've been able to elucidate, vindicate, and expatiate that COVID-19 is absolutely a reality and never a myth. Thank you and stay safe.
There are also some political ideologies who have been trying to exploit the pandemic to influence public opinion along party lines. Standing on the existing protocol, my name is Kwara Toluwalashe, a prime people of Blue Ribbon School here in Orila Agege, Lagos, and I'm here to bullshit on what my chief speaker has said that COVID-19 pandemic is a myth and not a reality. But first, I'm going to define a myth. Myth can be defined as a product of man emotion, imagination acted upon its surroundings. To prove my point, firstly, the global pandemic called COVID-19 is happening at a time where sourcing facts from fiction is increasingly difficult. In Nigeria, tsunami of misinformation and disinformation accompany the virus spread, provoking fear and exploiting vulnerabilities. Many nations simply to refuse the disease existence. Secondly, health misinformation is nothing new to Nigeria. At the height of Ebola epidemic in 2014, this false news spread around the country. This included advice allegedly from the author of Igalaland that bathing in and ingesting salt water could stop from getting the disease. This pattern already emerged the COVID-19 outbreak. According to the Lagos health officials, 3 people were hospitalized due to the overdose of chloroquine. This following rumors publicly emerged the former U.S. President Donald Trump that the drug could treat the illness. Furthermore, fear unknown and the loss of information in the direct space creates fatal ground existence for COVID-19 existence in Nigeria. This may be particularly vulnerable, but not because they may be uniquely gullible, but because of weak communication between government and governed. I reference for miracle healing and the dilapidated healthcare system. Social media activists, influencers, and social star warriors are using the social media platform as fringe websites to proliferate misinformation, propagate conspiracy theories, and promote the existence of COVID-19. Sometimes the motivation is to simply grow their online followership. For instance, a controversial blogger, Kemi Olunloyo, tweeted that President Muhammadu Buhari is sick with the president's cough and that makeshift intensive care unit ICU has been set up to treat him. This is another way to brainwash the citizens about COVID-19 existence. Sensationalist commented supposed health experts are spread widely. On the 23rd of March, for example, an audio clip emerged on WhatsApp alleged World Health Organization official predicting that at least 45 million people in some countries will die in this pandemic. In spite of this prediction, but we are still living. Only those who are old and having other health challenges are the ones dying, which is a natural one. Although it is dangerous to entertain doubt towards the threat of COVID-19. In the wake of the rapidly spread so-called novel coronavirus, which is debilitating effects on humanity, the Nigerian government launched social distancing campaign restricting movement in some certain parts of the country. To blow your mind, a 17-year-old woman in Enugu died in Enugu after being hospitalized and was tested negative for COVID-19. Panel of judges, can you say she died of COVID-19? My attentive audience, can you say she died of COVID-19? As a young girl, my heart bleeds for Nigeria. May God so help Nigeria. With this point of mind, I will be able to convince you beyond reasonable doubt that COVID-19 pandemic is a mess and
All right. Thank you. Kwara State.
Standing on this podium is a bona fide student of Socrates Promotional Primary School in Kwara State. Before I give my references, I want to hesitate to direct my greetings to the great personality on the high table. Good day, Mr. Chairman, impartial panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, my co-debaters, the ladies and gentlemen, and my very attentive listeners. I am Adetunji Alima from Socrates Promotional Primary School in Kwara State. I am meant to support the motion which says COVID-19 is a reality and not a myth. I would like to explain what COVID-19 is. COVID-19 can be described as the coronavirus disease found in the year 2019 COVID-19 that became a pandemic, that is, the global disease ravaging the whole world in the year 2020 and up till now. Back to the topic in question, is COVID-19 a reality or a myth? A myth is something that is imaginary, where reality is the fact that stares you in the face. How could anyone decide COVID-19 as a myth when the whole world is filled with the new normal? COVID-19 pandemic is an era when the mighty are falling. Several million in the country are dying from the invisible hand of the COVID, such as Seto Kasamu Buruji, Abba Kyari, Mr. Yenka Odumake, among others. I decided to mention it because we are talking reality and not a myth. For the doubting people to believe that COVID-19 is real. Can we still call COVID-19 pandemic a myth when the husband cannot trust their wife, mothers cannot trust their children, all are trying to maintain social distance in order to stay safe? Is this not a new normal? Can we still call COVID-19 pandemic a myth when the generation was prevented from attending classes for the fear of the unknown, and when the world seems to have come to an end, when children in the neighborhood can no longer play together and every kid are locked up in a room like dogs? COVID era is a deadly time when everyone has no smart face sheet like doctor in theaters because no one no longer trusts each other. This is a new normal, but a reality, not a myth. COVID era is a period when the sick and the dead could not be helped or supported, and innocents are allowed to die like fowls, and the corpses are left to be rotting in the open like an abattoir. Can we see? Because COVID is real. Can we see call COVID-19 pandemic a myth where the new lexicon such as lockdown, pandemic, social distancing, stay safe, face masks, face shield, etc. are ravaging the linguistic world, allowing the teacher and professor to scramble for the meaning of the new words, like children in kindergarten. Can we say that COVID-19 pandemic is a myth? Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, can we call COVID-19 pandemic a myth when the world economy has been destroyed by the invisible hand of the COVID? For instance, the Nigerian GDP dropped to the lowest ebb, salaries could not be paid, markets could not open, everyone nearly turned beggar, citizens are fighting for palliative, and life became miserable for everybody. Can we see that COVID-19 pandemic is a myth? The fact that COVID-19 has no cure, the world are racing to discover, and have discovered numbers of preventive vaccines, not corrective vaccines, are enough evidence that COVID-19 is real. I hope with this tangible point of mind, I am able to break the unbreakable, shake the unshakable, that COVID-19 is absolutely a reality and not a myth. Thank you, and stay safe.
Yes, I'm back again. COVID-19 is a myth and not a reality. It is said to have originated in Wuhan, China, and this so-called COVID-19, which people claim to be a reality, is an engineered disease from China to show supremacy against economic advantage. I am sure we are all aware of how the economy of China has gone to the outbreak of the so-called pandemic. We are all aware of the Cold War going on between China and the United States. While other nations are going on second or third lockdown and even a second or third wave, despite the fact that many of these nations are facing economic crisis, China has returned to normal life since August 2020. Can't this why they're writing all this? Also, our governments are urging us all over the world to get vaccinated. But let me ask you the question, does a highly prepared vaccine stop the transmission of the so-called virus to others? The answer is no. Does it make us resistant to the so-called virus? The answer is no. Does it stop us from wearing face masks and observing social distancing? The answer is no. What then are we vaccinated against? What is the point of the vaccine? Finally, if COVID-19 is real, why are we not sitting 6 feet apart? In our localities, have we not been attending parties, weddings, naming ceremonies, and other events? How many people died during such events? In our schools, how many cases of COVID-19 have we recorded? We have been going to churches and mosques, haven't we? How many cases of COVID-19 have we recorded? I'm absolutely sure that all these points of mine have been able to convince you beyond any reasonable doubt that COVID-19 is a myth and not a reality.
Next, Kwara State.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator, for giving me another opportunity to convince my opponent from Lagos State and attentive listeners that COVID-19 is a reality and not a myth. Did I hear my opponent say COVID-19 is a scam or a myth? I'm not here to personalize this argument, but since I knew I'd be facing Lagos State in the finals, I decided to go deeper and research further into Lagos State experience during the COVID-19 lockdown in order to prove that COVID-19 is real. For instance, the highest COVID-19 infection rate in Nigeria came from Lagos State. The highest COVID-19 death rate in Nigeria came from Lagos State. The highest social and nightclub shut down to save lives and to reduce the rate of infections came from Lagos State. Countless numbers of social residents in Lagos, such as Funke Akindele, Naira Marley, were sued by the Lagos State government for violating the COVID rules. Can we say that COVID-19 pandemic is a myth? International flights were cancelled, and Muritala Mohammed Airport was shut down in order to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Dr. Abayomi, the Lagos State Commissioner, and His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, were all infected and openly declared to save the world and to tell the world that COVID-19 is real. Finally, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, was adjudged the best governor in Nigeria during the lockdown, not just because of the numbers of roads and bridges he built, but because of the number of souls he saved from the COVID-19 destroyers. In conclusion, and in view of the foregoing, I believe I once again proving to my opponent from Lagos State and attentive listeners that COVID-19 is absolutely a reality and not a myth. Thank you.
This is tough. It is tough. I do not envy you. I don't envy the judges. Please put your hands together for them again. Thank you very much. You can go back to your seats, please. Lagos State and Kwara State.
I, Sholaku Soko Abino, request all schools nationwide to participate in NAPS quiz competition.
My name is Jude Ufoma Aurora, and I request that all schools nationwide should participate in NAPS quiz and debate competition.
I'm using this opportunity to invite all schools in the Federal Republic of Nigeria to participate in NAPS quiz and debate competition.
Join the NAPS quiz and debate competitions.
I'm using this forum to urge all schools in Nigeria to participate in NAPS National Debate and Quiz Competition.
I use this opportunity to encourage all schools in the 774 local governments in Nigeria to participate in NAPS quiz competitions.
I want all schools to participate in NAPS debate and quiz competition. Thank you.
I want to first of all enjoin all schools in Nigeria to join NAPS and also participate in all NAPS activities like debates, quiz competitions, talent hunts.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I want to employ all schools in Nigeria to participate in the quiz and debate competition. Thank you.
National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools invites you to participate in its inter-school competitions across board in debates, quiz, music, drama, spelling bee, Scrabble, chess. Watch out!
NAPS, Nurturing for National Development.
Welcome back. Now we have the secondary category. And for the secondary category, we have Oyo State and Kogi State. Representing Oyo State, first, Akinde Victor. Supporting him for Oyo State, Sandra Udele. You're welcome. Kogi State, Israel Akinfemi. You're welcome. Supporting him, Greatness Babani. I call on Oyo State. The mic is there.
With due respect, ma, the Princess of Lagos, if you've contracted COVID-19, or if any of our family members have contracted COVID-19, I want you to stand up and tell us. Then I will believe COVID-19 is real. Don't be shy, ma. If you have contracted COVID-19, you'll be taken to the hospital for proper treatment. Ma, you're not answering. That's capital letter no. COVID-19 is not real. It is a myth. I would like to give honor to whom honor are due to. Good day, Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, my co-debaters, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Akida Victor. I'm a student of Lafawa School. I represent Oyo State. The topic before me says COVID-19 pandemic, a myth and not a reality. What is COVID-19? The said COVID-19 is a novel coronavirus called severe acute respiratory illness discovered in one city, China. What is a myth? A myth is an ancient story used to explain natural events around us. A myth also means something that is fallacies that many people believe in but does not exist. My colleagues are likely to argue that COVID-19 is real, but unfortunately, it is not real. I'll prove to them with my point. I would like to first list my point. COVID-19 has nowhere it is discovered from. It is neither man-made or genetically made. My second point is that there are uncertainty about COVID-19 vaccines. And my third point says, masks cannot prevent us from having COVID-19. To my first point, because the pathogen first emerged in one China, Donald Trump and others have claimed without evidence that COVID-19 was engineered as a bioweapon. Engineered as a bioweapon in the sense that during the lockdown, we know that all businesses were shut down, but big companies were opened. Like Dangote, when they were sharing the palliative, Dangote manipulated money. He held money. To my opponent, the Kogi State governor, he said he built an isolation center with 100 billion. But when we checked it, it is made of canopy and tent. The money is earning per day. If we estimate it, it is more than 100 billion. The people that are rich, they are 5 times rich, and people that are poor are 5 times poorer. So why are we being deceived? The intelligence communities concur with the white scientists that COVID-19 is neither man-made or genetically. How possible? A virus has to be man-made. Then if it's not man-made, then it should be genetically made. To my second point, uncertainty about the vaccines. Several studies have learned that the use of hydroxychloroquine can abstain us from having COVID-19. But if you are exposed, it won't work for us. Then later, the Drug Administrative Control tells us that the use of hydroxychloroquine is dangerous for our health, that it causes heart problem. That means if all the world have used hydroxychloroquine, that means everybody will have heart problems. So people will have known that. People will have died. To my third point, the use of masks. The use of masks. I heard a story in this Lagos about a woman who used face mask for her child and before she got home, she realized that her daughter have died. Do we know how many people these masks have killed? Ma, you are not using face masks because you don't believe COVID-19 is real. Everybody that are staying here, we said that we are using nose mask. It is nose mask, not jaw mask, because everybody is putting it in their jaw. Why are they not social distancing? Because they are not social distancing because everybody do not believe COVID-19 is not real. That's why there's strong consensus in the United States of America that the spread of COVID-19 can be reduced through the use of face masks. President Muhammadu Buhari, the Nigerian president, and others have failed to use face masks. The question is, our President Muhammadu Buhari contracted this virus? He has not contracted this virus. When I was coming this morning, I saw people hugging, shaking. I've not contracted COVID-19. They believe COVID-19 is not real. The Georgia's governor, Brian Kemp, even implemented a contract that nobody should use face masks. That's why the virus spiked through the summer in the United States of America. Has she contracted COVID-19? She have not contracted the COVID-19. So why are we being deceived? Don't let us be deceived. Earlier, my opponent said that there are some dignitaries that have contracted COVID-19. Let me talk about the former executive governor of Oyo State, Governor Jumobi. He has been diagnosed for heart problems, and then when he died, they use it for corona. They said that he have died of coronavirus, so that they will fool many people, so that they will make us believe that COVID-19 is real. Let's talk about our carry. If our carrier have died, want his wife and he should have contracted COVID-19. I hope with this point of mine, I'll be able to convince you, that COVID-19 is a myth and not a reality. Thank you.
Good morning, the NAPS President, Dr. Yomi Otubela. NAPS BOT President, National Chairman of Children's Day Committee, Honorable Panel of Judges, my co-debaters, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am Babani Adeoluwasimi from Folo International Model College in Solu, Kogi State. I'm here to express my view on the topic, COVID-19 a reality or a myth. My view is that COVID-19 is a reality and not a myth. COVID-19 is also known as coronavirus. It's a new infectious disease caused by a severe acute respiratory syndrome, coronavirus 2. It was first discovered in Wuhan, China in December 2019. The new strain of the coronavirus caused by CRS-CoV-2 was officially named COVID-19 on 7th January 2020 by the World Health Organization. It is swiftly moving disease that continues its relentless spread throughout the world. According to Dr. Alok Patel, a scientist, the virus came through an animal, the bat, and it evolved with another intermediate animal suspected to be the pangolin before it changed form and became ready to infect humans at a large scale. It is only the ignorant, unlearned, uninformed that will call it a myth. COVID-19 is a reality, and its reality can be seen and be felt with the symptoms it presents on its victims. Symptoms which include headache, fever, fatigue, loss of smell, loss of taste, shortness of breath. These symptoms, which goes beyond normal flu sickness or other sickness, are shown that COVID-19 is a reality and not a myth or scam by the government. According to Azan Alaji Gado from Gwanji Ward 3 in Maiduguri, Borno State, he said, and I quote, "Honestly, I doubted the reality of COVID-19, not as I was found struggling with breath, headache, fever, but now I know better. After surviving in the Abiakari Isolation Center, many elites in Nigeria has died due to COVID-19, especially the returnees from abroad. Political heads such as governors and political appointees, Abiakari Chief of Staff of Nigeria, Nehab Ademgbero, the Commissioner of Ondo State. The first case was confirmed on 27th January 2020 when an Italian citizen was tested positive. Second case was confirmed in Nigeria from Ekoro, Ogun State, where a Nigerian contact with an Italian citizen. Are you telling me it's a myth? It's a reality, and we are faced with it today in Nigeria. Nigeria was only lucky not having to have observed the severity caused by other states and nations such as Italy. In Italy, the outrageous number of deaths in Italy called for mass burials. Their hospitals was not able to contain all the victims and patients infected by the virus. And you're telling me it's a myth? It's a reality. Are you be kidding me? How do you explain or how do you account for the president of nations using nose masks and face masks for conferences and national meetings? What are you even talking about? How do we account for the unceasing deaths worldwide in China, India, USA, UK, and even in Nigeria? At the time, 400 deaths were recorded in Kano State, not even only in Kano State, in Lagos State, in Abuja, and all other states all over the world. And you're telling me it's a myth? It's a reality, oh! It's a reality. And it can be seen. All of us here are using nose masks, aren't we? My nose mask is on. COVID-19 is a reality and not a myth. What are you even saying? Today, preventive measures have been given by the NCDC for us to use, which includes regular washing of our hands, use of wearing of nose masks, wearing of face masks, staying at home, and observing the social distancing rule. With this has decreased the spread of the virus and also encamped the virus from not allowing it to spread. Thanks to the government who took these preventive measures for us. Now let all of us obey and follow the social distancing and the use of all these nose masks used by the NDCC for us to encamp the virus so that we can prevent deaths in our nation. Stay safe. Thank you.
What else do you want me to say? I believe my partner has been able to convince you all with his points. Imagine, during the lockdown, we see that the number of people that has contacted this COVID-19 virus was very high. But during the reopening of the economy, we see that their number was low. Please tell me, why then do you say COVID-19 is a reality? How is COVID-19 a reality? Before I proceed with my point, good day, Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, my co-debaters, ladies and gentlemen, I am Ude Alessandra from Kenap Comprehensive College, representing Oyo State, supporting my partner in the motion that states COVID-19 is a myth and not a reality. As you can all see, I am not using my nose masks because I don't believe that COVID-19 is a reality. People that are using your nose masks, I would advise you all to remove it. You are just killing yourself gradually. You are killing yourself. They said that people died of this COVID-19 virus. It is all a lie. People died due to the carbon dioxide that has been inhaled back to the body. You are not removing your nose masks. Remove it. There is nothing like COVID-19. I will use Oyo State as a case study. They said that we should lock down, but Oyo State did not lock down. Yes, we did not lock down because we don't believe that COVID-19 is a reality. COVID-19 is a myth. I had witnessed it myself during the EndSARS protest. People were buying biscuits gala, sachets of pure water. They're passing it from one another, passing it from one person to another, putting it in the same mouth, and they say COVID-19 is being contacted through person to person, from mouth. Yes, none of them contacted this COVID-19 virus. I did not see anyone lying dead on the street, and they will tell me that person died of COVID-19 virus. The schools that are present here, please, I would like to ask you a question. Has anyone contacted COVID-19 virus in your school? Has anyone died of COVID-19 virus in your school? Why then do you say COVID-19 is a reality? COVID-19 is not a reality, it is a myth. Myth, not a reality. And others say, seeing is believing. And I believe that we all believe in this adage. Yes or no? Yes. I would like to ask another question. For Christians in your church, have you seen anyone that contacted this COVID-19 virus? Yet we don't maintain the social distancing. Yes, you don't maintain social distancing. For Muslims, any Muslim in the house? Has anyone contacted COVID-19 virus in your mosques? Has anyone died in your mosques that they say COVID-19 virus with person? Yes, you say COVID-19 is a reality. How is it a reality? It is not a reality, it's just a myth. Esteemed audience, please, do I still need to keep on matching points after points to prove to you guys that COVID-19 virus is a myth and not a reality? I hope I'll be able to convince you that COVID-19 is a myth and not a reality. Thank you for listening.
Standing on the existing protocol, I'm by name Akifem Israel from Aintfola Eze Group of School, Kogi State. COVID-19 is a reality and not a myth. In my opinion, I believe that COVID-19 is a reality. Because if COVID-19 is a myth, will we be sitting here observing social distancing? Will we be using our nose masks? Will the theme of this program be to recover and revitalize education for the COVID-19 generation? Will there be COVID-19 generation without the existence of COVID-19? COVID-19 is true. You say COVID-19 is a myth, yet you observe the lockdown. Or didn't you observe the lockdown? Please, my chief judge, didn't you observe the lockdown? Or did any of you here didn't observe social distancing? Welcome to this place. What notice do you see? They say no fake mask, no entry. In fact, my opponent, you are not supposed to gain entry into this place because you are not using your nose mask. COVID-19, as my colleague have said, is a new virus which is contagious. It is a reality because it has symptoms, it has transmission, it even have impact. Imagine, at the 13th of March 2020, the world has the total number of 156,077,747 cases being recorded. And of this number, 3,256,034 deaths has been recorded. In Nigeria, the total number of 165,559 cases has been recorded. And of this number, 2,060 deaths have been recorded. These are lead to death of many people around the whole world. Imagine, this virus has killed the governor of your state. It has also killed the chief of staff of Nigeria, Abba Yakari. The socio-economic disruption caused by the pandemic has had the devastating effect on billions of people, e.g. loss of life and livelihood. This virus has killed so many. Imagine, COVID-19, which is we call a myth, is very, very, very and very, very wrong. This affects all the students. Do you go to school during the lockdown? No, you are unable to go to school, and this has even tend to affect you educationally because we are unable to cover things that we have to cover during the lockdown. Anyway, I will have to conclude because there's no point beating around the bush. COVID-19 is a reality and not a myth. Not let anybody to convince you, because if you are confused, then you are uninformed and ignorant. With this few points of mine, I think I'll be able to convince you convince you and not to convince you that COVID-19 pandemic is a reality.
Children, are you enjoying yourself? Are you enjoying yourselves? Mba, princess. You didn't answer. What did you do to these children? They're always attacking you. All right. Oh, God. No, but seriously speaking, we're all learning, right? There are some things you've not heard before. You are hearing it here today, yeah? Especially the statistics. Sometimes some people say, no, it is not. Some people say, yes, it's correct. Okay, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for impromptu speech. And we'll start with Kogi State. It goes thus. The advantages of this lockdown on economy outweighs its disadvantages. Discuss. Please put your hands together for them.
All protocols duly observed. I remain Babaniyi Adeoluwa Simi Greatness from Follow International Model College in Sonlu, Kogi State. Thanks to the stringent preventive measures taken up by the government, this came as a very great advantage in the economy, especially in Nigeria. Tertiary institutions where different people from different states come together, definitely and certainly there will be interactions and contacts. And there's evidence has shown that the virus is readily transmitted from persons to persons. This would have caused a great havoc because the virus would have been widely spread throughout the nation and will not be able to stay or stand here now. Large markets in Lagos, Abuja, Kwara, Onitsha, etc., where different people come together to exchange goods and services, interact and talk. Market women would not have time after contacting people to wash their hands or sanitize their hands. Would they be able to prevent the virus from getting to their body? No. With this point of mine, I believe I'm able to convince and not to confuse you that the advantages of lockdown really outweighs the disadvantages, because the advantages is to save human lives. Thank you.
Okay, for Oyo State, listen to the topic. A sustainable economy depends on the uninterrupted educational system. Discuss.
All protocol duly observed. My name is Akindo Victor. I'm a student of Lafayette School. I stand before you to represent Oyo State. The topic before me says a sustainable economy depends on uninterrupted educational system. The importance of learning and knowledge have been recognized since the beginning of time. Plato, a writer, wrote that if a man neglects education, he walks lame to the end of his life. The relationship between education and economic is complex, but exploring some ways in which schools are spending and productivity highlight education roles as economic engine. Considering education as a key tool for achieving economic, social, and ecological objectives associated with sustainable development, the result economic models characterize educational factors with a significant contribution to the sustainable development of a country. What role does education play in the sustainability of a country? Good quality education is an essential tool for achieving a sustainable world. A good quality and uninterrupted education gives people values and behaviors and encourage them to accept a more suitable life. If we're talking about economy, if our economy is going to be sustainable, then we have to have an uninterrupted economy. How does education affect sustainability? Providing the right information, it changes people's fundamental shift. The way we act, the way we think, and the way we act to each other on the planet. There's an adage. I would like to conclude on this topic with a quote that is made by an ancient Chinese philosopher. and writer Lousy that says, if you give a man a fish, he will eat it for a day. And if you teach a man how to fish, he will eat for a lifetime. So if our education is uninterrupted, then our economy is good to go. It will be sustainable. Thank you.
As they go back to their seat, please clap for them. Thank you.
Congratulations to our powerful BOT, the indefatigable president of this noble association, the neck of this great association, the invited schools, the finalists, the host schools here present, the TV crew, judges, and every one of us here. We thank God Almighty for making this a reality. It's a journey we started about 5-6 months ago, and we thank God it sees the light of the day. I want to task all the contending schools to maintain spirit of sportsmanship. In a game like this, somebody will win, somebody will lose. And in this situation, it's a win-win situation for all of us. And I want to appreciate those that work with me as the chairman of this program, from Mrs. Dimler to Pastor Adeyemi and the rest members across the 6 geopolitical zones. Without you, there is little or nothing we can achieve. Thank you for your support. Also, I want to commend our national president for his resilience in seeing this program through.
We are now getting to the point at which everybody wants to hear.
Okay, we have 2 points here. The first position and the second position. The first position has 133 points. And the second position has 123 points. The first position, and that is Lagos State.
The best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny. I have waited patiently. I have vision, oh I believe. I know I can count on me. So stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up.
So for the secondary school category now, we call again on the chief judge.
The first position, the winner has 129 points. And the second position is having here 111 points. The first position goes to Oyose.
For the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up, stand up, stand up for the champions, for the champions. Stand up. Here we go, it's getting close. Now it's just who wants it most. It's just life, that's how it.
Okay, it's been a wonderful day and we all had fun. And again, keep learning, don't stop learning, continue to learn. The future is bright. My name remains Jude Ufoma Aurora, and I say take care and thank you very much. God bless you.